woman in the street, sell it on a minor bowl. Are we actually live? Jesus. Christ almighty. What is going on here? It's almost like they don't want me to do this stream or something like that. It's like I got a lot to say. Anyways, welcome back to another episode of Griftcast IRL, brought to you in part by Monkey and the Computer in association with Fat Guy in an Overcoat. With promotional association from viewers. Just like degradation of the ecosystem. Self. And to stop it. It's how will we cope with this change? Will we respond rationally? Will we learn to speak to the world with a new humility? And recreate structures in our own communities? Or sustainability? Or will we continue to live evolution? And in a way, it's a matter of awakening ourselves to our new reality and responding to it. Ricky, wah, Ricky, wah. Oh boy, it's gonna be one of those ones, guys. I can tell you. 7 years later, and I still have more information than the government. Oh, wait a minute. We're live. Welcome back to another episode of the best worst show on the internet. That's right. The show, it sucks. That's right. The show sucks. So, I don't know why you're watching it, but you're here now. So I hope you're ready for a party. Is it a party? I don't think it's a party. I think it's just another interesting anecdotal adventure in the life that we live here on this planet that's spinning around at like 10,000 miles an hour, and somehow we're not all flying off into space and dying. But maybe we all are. Maybe that's really what's happening to us, is that your spirit is weighed down by the flesh, but the second that you leave the flesh, you fly off into space. Wow, that was really deep. I'm a deep dude. Damn. Anyways, I don't really care about any of that stuff. So, welcome back. Sorry about having to double post on that. Rumble Studio decided not to work there for a second. So, who do we blame? Do I blame you? Do I blame me? Whose fault is it? No, there's no documentation for any of this stuff. We just kind of do this show live. We happened in the here and now, and sometimes we go back into the past. Like, we're going to be going back into the past today. Let me tell you what, this is definitely something that we've been doing a long time ago, and if you know what I mean. So, yeah, it's been a week. I've been off for a week. Yeah, whole week. And why have I been off for a week? Because I'm lazy. That's why. I mean, did you want me to give you a different week? Did you want me to give you a different answer? No, I passed out. I was asleep. What do you want from me? Anyways. Yeah, I was tired. Changing your work schedule is weird, irregardless of any of that other stuff. I was tired. What do you want from me? You want a cookie? Because I ain't going to give you one, because I don't got any. Keep that into your perspective. Okay? put that in your little pipe and smoke it. Anyways, so what did I do all week? I worked. Yeah, that's what I did all week. I like it though. I'm the man. I'm in charge, or I feel like I'm in charge. I mean, I don't know. I know who my bosses are or whatever, but I'm in charge of shit. I'm fixing a lot of things. I feel like I'm getting a lot of work done. I need to slow the fuck down. That's what I need to do. Getting these people used to me being a badass, and then I'm going to end up doing a lot more work for a little less pay. You know what I'm saying? No, I don't think it's going to work like that. But I do think that I am doing some pretty good work. I mean, I'm just fixing computers and shit, right? Setting stuff up and, trying to unannihilate a mess, or I'm trying to unwind a mess. And, I like puzzles. It's like a gigantic puzzle where there's ups and there's downs. And sometimes there's people that don't understand, like they just want you to do something right now. And you're just like, yo, homie, let me put this into perspective for you. There's no documentation on anything. I have no idea what you do every day here in your job. So, when you just throw words out at me, like half the time I know what you're talking about, and the other half I don't. So, if you're telling me, hey, I got this folder where the documents go, it's not working, I don't know what's happening. I'm like, you're going to have to stop. You have to walk it back for a second. Because you know what? I don't know what's happening either, but I'll figure it out. You just got to, walk me through it a little bit, help me, help you. We're in this together. I'm like, we're in this together anyways. And I think people really like that sort of approach because, I'm very animated. Yeah, I'm animated, but at the same time, I feel like, I can get shit, dude. And I went through and wrote up a bunch of quotes for shit. I mean, damn, computer stuff is expensive, but that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. The computer man. That's what I am, the computer man. Right? But, for a time there, we were like an investigator. Some would even consider us to be one of the top investigators out there. I don't know. I would think I would still consider myself to be one of the top investigators out there because even to this day, there's government officials out there that don't have as much information as me on certain crazy things that happened in the world that one time or whatever. But yes, I guess what we should talk about is this Jeffrey Epstein thing. I'm sure all of you guys that know me have been chomping at the proverbial bit to get your man's DeFago's take on everything that you've seen. And I mean, I don't even know why, because you saw what they put out. You seen it. You literally saw it 7 years ago when we put it out. Was it 7 years ago? Gosh darn. Yeah, it was 7 years ago. I have to go back when I look at this. The Jeffrey Epstein Motherload Steemit 7 years ago on Steemit. Right? 7 years ago on Steemit. And for whatever reason, the very second link is Attorney General Pam Bondi's first phase, right? Did I get invited to the biggest shindig of the century for all the big investigators with big social media followings that were trying to uncover this? No. Unfortunately, friends, we were far too early to that one. 7 years too early. No, actually, probably about 4 or 5 years too early. I mean, when did all the Epstein stuff start even popping off? It was a while back, right? It was a while back. Not a lot of people cared about it, right? Like, people are like, this is not real. That's fake or whatever. But, we talked about it anyway. I think a lot of people were very inquisitorious as to a lot of the things that happened, and I think people thought it was, full of it. But, here we are, dudes. Here we are. It's happening. The U.S. Department of Justice is finally releasing the files. I'm sure it's going to be a great release. We're totally going to get a lot of great shit, right? Right? Yeah. So, they declassified a bunch of files from Epstein. And, here's basically everything that they had. It was like a bunch of documents that they posted to the internet, right? But something jumped out at me very, very clearly was the fact that I had seen all of these documents. Yes, we have seen all of these documents. Every single one of them. So maybe it's okay, should we be happy that at least we know that, the government knows that what we know is, and when we put it all out there all them years ago, it was real as fuck? Or should we be giving credit to some of those other internet journalists that came way super late to the party and still didn't manage to put out more information than me, and then somehow got invited to the White House to be part of the people that are apparently going to be dropping the leaks. And isn't it weird that every single one of those people was super Zionist and like totally into Israel or Jewish? I thought that whole thing was weird, like I figured if we're going to expose this thing, we should expose it right and not have their own people exposing it. You know what I mean? I didn't think that would have worked, right? Like, I don't think that works, but everything that was put out was whack as fuck, and it's redacted. Like, we have the unredacted pages of all of this shit. Like, are you kidding me? Like, why even redact it, Pam Bondi? I thought you were going to put out unredacted files, but yes, redactions for personal information. Okay. So yeah, we put out this one too that was unredacted, every single one of them. So like, what was the point of any of this? Because like, we already had all of this stuff. We've had this shit for 7 years. We've had this shit for 7 years unredacted, right? And it's all like. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Like, what is this? You're right. You can Google this crap, Mr. Blacksmith. You're right. Like, they put out a bunch of gobbledygook, right? They put out what we already had, right? We already had this. We had this over 7 years ago, right? Like, I collected it all, put it out 7 years ago when nobody gave a shit, except for a few people. And even now, like, they just gave this to a whole bunch of influencers to put it out there, and it's like supposed to be a big thing, and we're supposed to be celebrating it. I mean, look at this shit, dude. It's just fucking. This is worse than anything that has ever been put out before, right? Like, we've had documents get put out where they're like, oh yeah, we're declassifying something, and then there's like a big black box in the middle of it. Nah, dog. The whole fucking thing. Like, dog, are you for real? Isaac Cappy? What about him? He killed himself. What a terrible way to go. Enjoy burning in hell. That's what I say. I mean, he knows what he did. He knows what he did. So, here we are looking at this shit and going, like, are you serious, bro? This is what you're going to give to us, right? Like, people were posting this shit for years and years and years, doing multi-year reports. I did like a 5-page report on this shit where we collected all the information that had been put out, anybody that had talked to him, verified, cross-checked, cross-referenced, cross-linked, and it was like, nobody cared, and now it's classified? Like, what? I thought we were going to be releasing all the declassified material so people could know the truth with JFK, with his Jeffrey Epstein character, and everything else. And they literally just laughed in our face. They spit in my face. They slapped me, spit in my face, and laughed at me. Like, seriously? This is you right now, United States government. Literally, fuck you. Gaslighting Americans with all that shit. Yep, Blank did butt stuff. That's funny, J.R. Riggs. But yeah, there's it. Epstein files, gaslighting Americans. That's what Pam Bondi's all about. Well, I knew that she was going to be all about it. Like, you guys wanted me to be all happy for all these dumbass, knucklehead, stupid assholes that they had working for them. And, like, this is the Attorney General of a fucking America, and this bitch can't research shit. And then she put this shit out, literally thought that she was like the greatest person in the world, and everybody fucking shat on her for it, and then tries to go out there and gaslight Americans again, like they're gonna give us more stuff. Oh well, the SDNY isn't giving us information. It's the SDNY that's not giving us information. Like, seriously, pass the buck more, chump. You're the federal government now. You think that you need permission from the SDNY to access their files? Yeah, I don't get it, dude. It just the whole situation smells. It smells like ass. Okay? And not the good kind of ass, right? When you look at this picture right here, you can see these are the arbiters, right? And all I see is Zionist, 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 Zionist. You know, all I see is some of the fakest motherfuckers out there. Like, why is Scott Pressler standing there and getting a Jeffrey Epstein book? Scott Pressler is a guy from Pennsylvania that, what does he do? He tries to get people to sign up to vote? Isn't that what he does? Virginia Olsen coming in with a $5 super chat. Oh my gosh. Started off the episode with a token of appreciation. Thank you so much to Virginia Ocean for handing us $5, 5 big ones for our pocket. We're definitely going to spend that on steaks. We appreciate it and hope you're doing well. Yes. But yeah, look at, even you got that dumbass. Yeah, it's just like a line of dumbasses. Like, I don't see a legitimate journalist or investigator in this line. Not even Jack Posobiec. You remember Jack Posobiec, right? Jack Posobiec, the guy that said that I was full of it or whatever, even though his entire QAnon expose is complete garbage now because apparently him and his friends made it up, even though they wouldn't have been able to make it up if it wasn't for who? Me! Right, yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. But he still insta-blocks me every time I get on a new Twitter account. He doesn't like people knowing that he went to DEF CON in 2017. And he also probably doesn't want people to know that I caught him doing butt stuff with another man at a party, and it was super gross, just real gross. It's a gross man. And this is when he was getting married to that girl, too, okay? Anyways, enough talking bullshit. As far as I can see, it's just like really weird because the selection that was made is basically all of the fake stars, right? Like all of the people that I consider to be fake stars that have been kind of molded and pushed up to be something, but don't actually do any work and don't have any real skills. Like Scott Pressler, for example, he's really tall. He wears cowboy boots and a cowboy belt everywhere. And he tries to sign people up to vote, but he's also super gay. But you know what? Everybody really loved him. Now all of a sudden they're handing him an expose on this Jeffrey Epstein thing. So like, thanks Donald Trump and Kash Patel for taking my beautiful investigation that was so much better than anything that any FBI investigator had ever done ever, and had more information, and then actually dwindling it down and giving it to a bunch of fucking retards to put out there. I mean, I think that's cool. I mean, I'm not really happy with you. It's probably why you're not too happy with me right now. But you know that, I still got you, baby. There's something that you can do. You guys have already tried, and I'm still here. So you can try again, but you know what's going to happen. And then you're going to lose. But as far as I can tell, it's a very selected group of people, right? And it's like, why is Trump trying to reinvent history around this stuff and make a really big deal about it when they're not putting anything new out? Like, literally, it's one of the dumbest things that I've ever seen them do politically. But then again, the Republican Party have been, what is that? Yeah. Retarded. Yeah, they've been retarded, right? If you look at this, you can see that these guys were not selected because they are the best of the best. There was another selection process that basically allowed them to be in that room, right? Pam Bondi's not going to bring anybody in that says anything bad about the Israelis, right? They're not going to bring anybody in that calls out the genocide that's happening in the Middle East, right? Because they're our greatest ally, right? But when you look at each individual person out there, They all seem to be super pro-Israel, and why would they want that in association to Jeffrey Epstein? Because, I don't know, he's kind of the linchpin in this whole pseudo-weird, galactic, global child trafficking sex cult thing that people have been, going crazy about on the internet for a lot of years, which at first didn't really have a whole lot of structure to it other than, some loose structure. It wasn't until this Epstein thing that it really came to the forefront in a very, very big way, right? Blackmail and all that other crap. And it makes you wonder why some of these people are just coming out saying the same exact things. They've all basically pledged allegiance to Israel first, not America first. And then, Trump is just kind of doing the same thing for himself, right? Is it really all about the American people right now? That I've always said that it hasn't been, right? We're literally looking at the same group of people that were affiliates of the wellness company, right? Look at that, baby. Liz Wheeler, DC Drapier, Arlene Wixler. Oh, yeah, Chad Panther and Jack Posobiec. Huh. The wellness company. The wellness company. Remember the wellness company, guys? Yeah, I remember the wellness company. What do? Well, they help sell you wellness. And they're also, mighty Jewish, right? Kind of makes you wonder how they selected all those people to get the Epstein client books. It's almost like they're trying to control the flow of information out there and to limit damage to the parties that were involved in the affair because, it ended up being true or whatever, right? Is that right? Is that why TWC Health and the rest of these people are associated to it? Who made the selection? Who picked them up? Who was the one that decided that they were going to be the ones? Think about that. In-house habit. Why are each of these individuals so big in there? And then if you think about it and you look at the alternative media pipelines that are associated to the whole entire situation, you'll start to realize that, guess what? You're just looking at another version of a government psyop, right? We've spent years tearing these things apart, making the government cry to the point that they can never arrest us because they know what I will do. And they can't handle it, right? So, what they do is they assemble new groups, and there's been this whole counter government party that has been going along, with Rumble and all these various other counter media corporations. And when you start looking at all of the stuff that's happening right now, it's just a new narrative driven. We've just shifted back from, the mostly Democrat narrative that has been plaguing us for so long, and now we're back into that whole what do you call it? I guess it's the right-wing Republican dominance narrative, which doesn't make really much sense when you start to look at things. It should be a big red flag for you, right? Major red flag, right? And then even more so if you think about who's actually making all of the selections, you should really start to think about that, They're not picking the best influencers for the job. They're picking certain influencers that have made their loyalties known, and their loyalties are not to Trump. They use the Trump loyalty brand as a shield, right? Because Trump is Jewish, right? So, to them, they say that they're America first, but really they just want to fix something that they don't want to have negative for their people. Right? Every single last one of them. And they all go back to the same characters, like Alan Dershowitz, who flew on Epstein's plane a whole bunch of times and vehemently denies that he did anything nasty, but there's definitely fucking videos and goddamn pictures that say otherwise! Anyways, seriously, I never wanted to see that old balls and those wrinkly ass, but guess what? I synced them. I'll sync them. Anyways. And then you got Mike Cernovich. Yeah. It's the same group of people, the same group of people that were doing all of the stupid shit prior to 2016 had been brought back to start raising hell in certain kinds of ways, right? It's not exactly, it's not exactly rocket science what's happening here. Hi, guys. My name is A.D. Pam Bondi, and I just somehow bungled the first release of the Epstein files harder than anyone could have thought possible. I somehow managed to release redacted versions of everything that people have seen. Lame. Even though, yeah, that's exactly what fucking happened. I mean, honestly, it is a joke, dude. It's a joke, and you should realize that they're not going to put out anything good. And by anything good, I mean anything that's going to tell us about that one little group of individuals that do all of the bad, most of the bad in the world, right? The ones that create the most heartache and harm and death and destruction. You know which ones I'm talking about. Black people. I'm just kidding. Anyways, so if we think about this stuff, you got to look at it. And if prime ministers and all these other people are all wrapped up into this shit, you got to realize that it was never about us. It was never about us giving the truth, right? And just like we used to rally against those fucking Democrat idiots that were lying to us on a daily basis, there's no freaking way, bro. I mean, I supported Trump, and I hope to get him elected, right? Like, I voted for him. But you know what? He is completely fucking fucked his entire base. He's fucked off his entire base. He's basically told all of them, fuck you. I'm sending money to Israel. We're cleaning up the government. And then the first thing that they do is send money to Israel. It's all a fucking joke. It's all what? I mean, just look at fucking Pam Bondi up here with Jesse Waters. Like, this is a weird conversation.
See, hopefully tomorrow is a lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information, but it's pretty sick what that man did.
Oh yeah, it's real sick. Yeah, we knew about that 7 years ago when I remember me putting out the information and collecting it all. Pam, it was 6-7 years ago when we had it unredacted. Give us something new.
So we were looking today to find out more about why the government's been so suspiciously protective of Jeffrey Epstein. This afternoon, a bunch of conservative influencers left a meeting at the White House with binders that said the Epstein files, phase 1. Once the binders were opened, people were able to see flight records and Epstein's Rolodex and a list of masseuses. The masseuses' names were blacked out, and the information from the flight logs wasn't new. Neither was the Rolodex.
It was the Rolodex.
When we began to feel duped, Pam Bondi released a letter that says, basically, I was duped too. In the letter addressed to FBI Director Kash Patel, Bondi basically says, I asked you for the full and complete files related to Jeffrey Epstein. I received 200 pages of documents. I asked if these were all the documents, and the FBI said yes. Late yesterday, I learned from a source at the FBI field office in New York was in possession of thousands of pages of documents related to the investigation.
I was duped, you guys. I didn't know it was Kash Patel that did it to me. I asked him for the files, and this is what he... Pam Bondi, you were confirmed before Kash Patel, and you were requesting the files before Kash Patel was in charge of the fucking FBI, you blonde bimbo. Like, seriously, woman? Like, seriously, girl? Serious? I got thousands of pages of that shit, and I'm not an FBI agent. No, I eat FBI agents for breakfast because they wish they could be as short and fat and unassuming as me. Anyways, so I think that this whole situation really tells you, like, Jesse Waters is like, blah, blah, blah. You know, this is not something that you normally see from the Republican side of things, but you got to give it up to the Republican journalists that are going to be like, yo, this is bullshit. And your excuse is that you're blaming the guy that didn't give you the files? Like, what the fuck? Huh? The fuck? That's not how that works? Seriously? I mean, okay, you got duped by people inside the FBI. Okay, maybe we believe that. Maybe.
And
fucking
the indictment
lame,
of Epstein.
dude. That's
Despite my repeated requests,
bullshit.
the FBI never disclosed the evidence of these files. Bondi's demanding by 8 a.m. tomorrow morning that the FBI deliver everything to her office, including all records, audio, video recordings.
Bitch, if they fucking... Your office is not big enough to put all of that shit in it. You know how many DVDs that motherfucker had? A lot.
All materials related to Epstein. And she ensures.
And they were all porn.
DOJ will disclose everything. And she's direct.
The motherfucker used to sit in his house with like 5 different TVs on, all with porn, all playing different videos, walking into different rooms.
Directing Patel to begin an immediate investigation into why the FBI isn't following orders. So who's in charge at the New York FBI field office? Who's withholding Epstein docs from the Attorney General?
Who's withholding
James Dennehy is running the show there. There he is. This is the guy who emailed his whole staff to dig in after Trump took office. And don't forget that James Comey's daughter is an assistant U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York. She worked on the Epstein and Maxwell cases. She's kind of knee-deep in this.
Knee-deep?
Epstein was facing sex trafficking charges in Lower Manhattan. Where's all that paperwork? The FBI seized computers, surveillance videos, banking records, file cabinets, and photographs.
Hey, Rollins, you are correct about the whole AVN thing, but you know what? He still had all the underagers and shit, too. That's totally real as well, right? But he started getting caught up because he started going after the AVN chicks and their people that were hiring, that hired them and were managing them, started getting pissed off about the situations because he was taking girls out of the country for weeks at a time. Or, you know, like an entire fucking week, and then they wouldn't be working, and then they would be pissed off because, you know what, they were like, we had like 15 guys lined up, big as fuck, big old eaters, we had them here waiting, they were all jerking it and shit, waiting for you to show up, you never came. Where the fuck were you? You know how much I had to pay them to do nothing? You know? I'm not made out of money. I'm pretending to be the porn producer that, you know, was wondering where his girls were because they were on Epstein Island.
From all of Epstein's properties in New Mexico, the Virgin Islands, Palm Beach, and in New York. The Justice Department also gave Epstein a sweetheart non-prosecution deal 17 years ago. Where are those files? The Bureau of Prisons. Where are those files? You remember where Epstein killed himself? I asked Bill Barr about that, why everything seemed to go wrong that night.
Where are them?
When I first heard all the information and all the coincidences here, I was suspicious.
What were the coincidences? I mean, those were a lot of coincidences.
Well, one of the cameras was out.
Right.
He was supposed to have a cellmate. The cellmate left. They didn't replace the cellmate. And the guards who were supposed to check him
17 years ago, Q confirmed!
Every half hour.
That shit comes up everywhere.
Check him.
My EMT source said he was on the scene immediately to pull Epstein's body out to the morgue. And when he got to the cell, he saw 7 people there touching Epstein's body and moving stuff around. Trump did say during the campaign he'd release these files, so it's not like this came out of the blue. Jeffrey Epstein did act as an informant to the FBI. Is the Bureau embarrassed?
Yeah.
Is the Bureau embarrassed that they let hundreds of young victims down?
Yep, they're super embarrassed about that. No, they're not, because they were participating in it too. That's why the FBI sucks.
This was all happening right under everyone's noses. Epstein was probably...
I'll never forget when the Homeland Security guy showed up at my house and I didn't know who he was. Made sure that was never going to happen again.
An intelligence asset rumored to be working with the Israelis, maybe this country.
Now I know when they're going to get here, and I'll have tea waiting for them.
Probably other countries. Was he a double agent? He had dirt on everyone and a knack for making cash. And he's dead. So the government has no one to protect but themselves. Epstein victim attorney Jennifer Freeman and
Yeah. Epstein was just a cog in a very gigantic wheel of miscreantness or in a gigantic wheel of torture, death, and destruction. Like, it's not just these guys, right? So, who are we supposed to be mad at, right? Like, it doesn't make sense, dude. This doesn't make sense. Like, I've met Scott Presser. He seems like a nice fellow or whatever. Really, really loves the Jews for some reason. Like, almost in an inordinate amount. Like, he spoke at the Nevada Republican Convention, and he talked more about Israel than he talked about Nevada, which was really, really fucking weird. But I look at these groups of people and I see what they're coming out, and I have to call it out. I got to be like, yeah, dude, they're not going to be giving us any type of real shit at this point. We can trust almost pretty much 100% that there's not going to be a shred of new information in any releases that are coming out. And then if you look at these guys, the best we could do is form a gatekeeper task force and tweet about it for personal gain. Yep. Because that's exactly what they've done. They've created a task force of gatekeepers to basically be the arbiters of truth in the Epstein investigation, which is crazy because no investigators that actually investigated it for years made it into that room. Even people that came after me and are well known for being the big info people in the Jeffrey Epstein case that still never got half as much information on that shit as I did, they still are forming these gatekeeping squads. It's the same as the gatekeeping squads that we see on Twitter. It's all about information control and narrative control, and they're putting it right in your face, right? And they're telling you that, yeah, you gotta believe it. It's real. These people are gonna be the ones that tell the truth about it. Just trust us, bro. Trust us, bro. Trust us, bro. And if you think about it, it's been since 2019, right? 2 years before anybody was speaking on the guy's name, I was like one of the first people on the internet willing to come forward and talk about it. And even now, no new info has been dropped. Nothing new. And the only thing that they could do is just say, well, somebody's withholding information. We're going to get to the bottom of this, right? And it was highly anticipated, and it ended up being a big nothing burger. And if you're surprised, I don't know why. Like, every time they do this, they did this in 2016, how many fucking times? Where they were putting out information, they did the narrative control, and it just kind of was like a big-ass nothing burger. Over and over and over again. Same shit happened with the Trump shit. And it's just got to stop, bro. It's got to stop. Like, stop passing the buck, stop being fucking bad at your jobs, and stop not knowing how to fucking search government information sources yourself. Because you're really just making everyone look stupid, right? Like, that's what they're doing here. Right? And yeah, they treated Barry Seal the same way, that's for sure. The Attorney General had a press release. It was like trying to pump us all up about this fucking thing. And then, it kind of just fell on deaf ears, right? Because everybody was like, So you got the Jew task force to tell us about Jeffrey Epstein, and you're trying to make us think that shit's real and whatever you're gonna put out's real. Like, do we fucking look retarded? Do I look retarded? I mean, I guess I look retarded. Like, guess we're all just retarded now. Yeah, we're retarded. It just makes zero sense that we had to actually go through here. And, I mean, think about this just from a couple of weeks ago.
I want to get into this Epstein thing a little bit. I think the American people are very curious about who's on this list or these lists.
Andrew Lee.
You have been doggedly trying to get all the information. And now we learn, thanks to you, that you've been stonewalled,
she's been stonewalled
by people in New York. Do you want to explain that?
Yes, Mark. So as you know, we released about 120 pages of documents, and I started asking for these documents right when I came into office and before Kash Patel was in there. So I ended up getting about 120 pages we carefully redacted them, of course, to be sure the 254 young girls, women who are victims of sex crimes and sex trafficking, their personal information was redacted and out of there to protect them. So I'm going through it and I kept saying, there has to be more. There has to be more. I'm assured that's it. Cash asked the same questions. Assured there's no more. I found out, this week that a source told me New York, SDNY, they're sitting on thousands of pages of documents regarding Epstein. Thousands. And of course, you've seen the very strong letter. We will get everything. We will have it in our possession. We will redact it, of course, to protect grand jury information and confidential witnesses. But the American people have a right to know. And Donald Trump.
Yeah. Well, we're going to redact it. We're going to adapt it. We're going to protect people's information, So basically, just tell us that you lied, right? Because we could get the information that you have, and it's already been put out there. And trying to invent an SDNY fucking conspiracy that they're not giving up the files or something is possibly one of the most retarded things that I've ever heard somebody try to come up with. Bitch, you're the AG. Motherfucking Kash Patel is the head of the FBI. All he got to do is ask for the access and he can log right the fuck in. So unless those people are literally hiding fucking files in secret places in their office or at their home or some shit, everything that you are saying right now is absolute, positive horse shit. It's horse shit. Absolute horse shit. There's no way that they could fucking hide that shit from you. Unless you were just absolutely, positively inept in understanding your own systems.
Trump is the most transparent president in our nation's history. So not only will America get the full Epstein files, they will get JFK, they will get Martin Luther King.
Well, that's fantastic.
Bitch, why don't you guys just give yourself access to the files? You have digital archives and shit like that, don't you? You all you gotta do is log into the Echelon system and go get the fucking files. So if they weren't uploaded there, okay, maybe they're not there. But then again, like, who was working on the cases? I'm sure you have all their names and shit. Why don't you go talk to them?
Fantastic, but I assume the Southern District of New York is or has been holding on to this information for a reason. That is, they don't like the name.
And then what about Florida Department of Prisons? Because, like, he spent time in Florida. Don't they have Florida legal documents associated to this? Don't they have documents associated to this shit in New York and New Mexico? You're the AG. How come you can't request their files? They're not going to give them up to you? Like, they can't do that. I mean, they could try, but then you just show up there with federal police officers, and they're going to give it to you.
Names on the list. And of course, we know New York is a hotbed of the Democrat Party, and that includes in legal circles. Do you think that's part of the issue here, that they're trying to protect a lot of names and individuals?
Mark, I have not reviewed the information yet. And as a lawyer, as a prosecutor, I want to review everything before I make a firm conclusion. But I think it's very interesting that they withheld that from us. And I will find out who withheld it, and they will not be working for us anymore.
So once all that's in the public with the...
Yeah, I remember that law enforcement officer from Florida who fled the country after making copies of
obvious necessary redactions.
We still got all
including the people who were the victims and the phone numbers and so forth. But for the perpetrators, I assume that we'll see those names, yes?
Well, certainly. There's nothing can be withheld on that. Of course, as you know, grand jury information, anything confidential will be withheld under the law. And we're going to do everything in our power.
Yeah. Grand jury information is going to be hidden because it's the law, blah, blah, blah.
Or to protect the victims so they're not further victimized also.
Yeah. Just a complete mockery of the entire situation. It's so awful. Like, you gotta be joking me, dude. Like, this is them, right? a complete nothing burger release that just is from going to be utilizing some of the most, I don't even know what you would call them, the most stupid people that I've ever seen on the internet, like completely just cut out, fake as fuck, like influencers that have been pushed to the top utilizing bots and other means. It's so stupid. Like, do you really think that people like Chaya Riot Chick that much? Fuck no. Like, are you kidding me? Like, she ain't even pretty. She's not even pretty. But you know what? She was there. Why? Does she do that kind of shit? Is she the type of person that's like investigating that stuff? No. It don't make no goddamn sense. Okay? It don't make any sense. It's really crazy. I mean, look at this chick.
March 4th, Trump is going to be addressing Congress, and he keeps saying it's going to be a big deal, yada, yada, yada.
Listen to what people are doing to try to justify what just happened.
What if he got up there, and this is not crazy, because Trump has done some out-of-pocket shit. But let's just say he goes up there really. And he opens, his little book.
I mean, he's done some fake out-of-pocket shit that was, like, planned and stuff, but he ain't never pulled off no out-of-pocket shit like me. Has he ever fucking punched somebody so hard that they saw the curvature of the earth? I don't think so.
And he just starts reading the Epstein list and just starts naming off people. And then all of these men in coats with handcuffs and glasses, they start walking up to people and getting them up out of their seats and handcuffing them. And then, like, imagine it's like the Red Wedding. They lock the doors behind everyone. Oh, come on in.
Fucking high. You're goddamn high. Trump's gonna come out and start reading off names and throwing people in Gitmo. Okay, QAnon, thank you. We appreciate that. Yep. It's not like we ain't heard that one fucking before. I'll believe it when I fucking see it. Jesus. Like, really? That's what's going to happen now? Those are the mental gymnastics that we're going to take to dissuade us from being angry at the people that clearly let us down? Like, that's the reason that fucking Republicans always end up only being able to hold shit for 4 years, is because of this crap. Everybody's afraid of stepping on everybody else's toes. It reminds me of when I was at the Nevada Republican Convention, and this one dude and this other dude kept on fucking causing drama. And I just was like, who the fuck are these guys? I learned their names. I Googled one of them, and then I started watching him getting fucking, found guilty for beating his wife or whatever. And I'm looking at him, and I just saw like, you're a fucking felon. You shouldn't even be fucking talking. And he's like, well, you can't bring that up. You're a piece of shit, motherfucker. And I was like, what are you going to do? Hit me? Because I was like, bro, that's not going to go the way that you think, son. And I was talking real loud, so I made sure everybody heard me. And then I was like, look, guys, like, that's real. He shouldn't even have the ability to be here. Because in our charter, it says that he's not allowed. So, like, I don't give a fuck what he's done. I don't give a fuck how long he's been here. And he's trying to kick out some other guy that was trying to get him thrown out for being a woman beater, and you guys are trying to fucking stay with him? Oh, because we don't attack our own. Get the fuck out of here, you fucking pieces of shit. It's the same shit, dude. Same shit. When you look at it and you start to realize that this thing is being set up in such a way that you're supposed to be changed, you're going to realize it. And we also have Lunchie on deck. Lunchie on deck. The Chi-Chis. The Lunchies. The Chi-Chis. And this is my lovely little puppy. Her name is Lunchie. She is my baby girl. She has been in heat for a couple of weeks now. I hope that it's over soon, because my house is a mess, and I want my baby girl back. I want my baby girl back. I want my baby girl back. Does your chihuahua lay in your arms like a little baby? Because mine does. Yep. Mm-hmm. She's not pregnant, no. She just goes into heat because, like every dog does, once a year. Oh, I see what you want. You want the rest of your Panda Express chicken, Lunchie? Is that what's up? You want the rest of your chicken? You hungry? You got a little bit of... You got a need for some chick? You got a need for some chicken? Yeah. No, her breath doesn't smell like fish. It smells like poop. Because I caught her eating poop the other day. Don't be eating poop. Poop eater. The poop eater. She smells like Lunchie. She smells like outside. That's what she smells like. Actually, right now her breath smells like Panda Express teriyaki chicken. That's what her breath smells like. She smells like a little bit of chicken with teriyaki sauce. That's what she smells like. That's what you smell like. You want more chicken? You don't want no more chicken? Okay. I figured I would check. You had half of it earlier today. But yeah, it's Lunchie time. I'm done talking about this Jeffrey Epstein crap. It's just gonna make me angry. It's just gonna make me angry. I can't believe that they just decided to completely fuck that whole shit up like that. I knew they were gonna do it, but you know what? Now we have a lunch. We have Lunchie. The Lunchie. She is a very cute puppy. Look at this side. Look at this side of her face. Very cute. Look at this. Look at the back of her head. Very nice. Now let's just turn her around so real quick. You can see her face. Look, very cute. Very cute. Oh, look, Teddy said it at $1.99. Got to donate to Lunchie's Angus Burgers. That's right. She only eats Angus hamburgers, steak, and chicken. And then a little bit of rice every now and then. Some carrots, some peas. If they're real peas, she doesn't eat the fake peas. She'll pick them out. But she's pretty smart. She's a pretty smart dog. Yeah, I like it when you just sit there like that. You got to look at the camera. You got to look at the camera. Right there. But the light is bright, Daddy. The light is bright. She's letting you know that she wants more chicken. You do want more chicken, don't you? No? You don't want more chicken? What do you want, a burger? I'm not going to make you a burger right now. It's chicken day. It's chicken Saturday. Yeah, Lunchie's a well-mannered pup. Wow, dude, we got all kinds of money coming in. Lunchie, we got freaking $20 coming in now, dude. What? $20 from Poor Man Gold PMG for the Lunchie Fund? That's at least 2 steaks for Lunchie. No, the steaks that we buy, that's like 4 steaks right there, Lunchie. It's like 4 steaks. You gotta have steak all next week. She's like, don't lie to me like that, Daddy. No, they just donated $20. Look, they just donated. They donated to you. She doesn't wear shoes. She just has little brown feet. She's got brown feet. She's a Chihuahua, but she looks like a little Rottweiler. She's got the Rottweiler face with the Rottweiler eyebrows. And then she's even got this, you know, she's got the same. She got the same. She's got the same. She's very well mannered. She's very, very good. She only barks when she's outside. And she never gives her dad kisses on the face, only on the hands, her belly. Yeah, she's a Rottweiler. She reminds me of my other dog, Nala. I had a Rottweiler named Nala that acted a lot like her, but she was just, you know, a Rottweiler size, very big. But did it bark? Very well mannered. Was it really too angry at anybody? Just had a nice time all the time. She lived for a long time. I hope Lunchie lives for a long time because I don't want to have to get another dog. I don't want one of those yappy chihuahuas. But yeah, this is Lunchie, everybody. This is my number one puppy. She's always here with us. Although she's usually sitting on her nasty ass bed with like fucking shit all over it. You really need to clean that shit up, Lunchie. You got like a hot dog over there. There's like a piece of burger. Nobody knows how old that shit is. And I'm pretty sure I saw some chicken over there from like last week that you were just hiding. So I need you to go clean that up. I'm gonna need you to clean that up. Yeah, did we clone her? Can you clone dogs? I'm gonna have a bunch of Lunchie clones running around. She's like, Daddy, don't clone me. I'm one of a kind. I'm one of a kind. Don't steal my soul like that, Papa. See, we just sit like this all the time. And I watch the TV. With my Lunchie just like this. And then I pick her up. And she's like, oh, are you done? All right, you want your chicken? Chicken fun. Oh. All right. Gotta wipe off all the little hairs. Motherfucking winter coat is shedding. I'm gonna go brush her. Oh, so where were we? Oh, yeah, that's right. We were talking about that guy, Jeffrey Epstein, that we did that huge investigation on. And out of the government, yeah, she's like 7 now. And now the government is trying to do an investigation on him. And, well, kind of seems like they kind of fucked up, you know? Kind of seems like it didn't come forward the way that they thought. So, here's a nice palate cleanser.
Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Oprah, and all these celebrities said that if Trump came into office, that he was going to strip all of us women of all of our rights. And I haven't lost one of them. I still have to go to work. I still have all of my rights.
Look at those fucking tears.
And it sucks. And did you also know? No, this is serious. I'm being serious. That they have visited, like North Carolina, Tennessee, California, Ohio. Yeah, you remember the oil or the train thing in Ohio? They visited that. Like, they forgot about Ukraine and they're focusing on us. Like, they care about Americans. And it's just wild. It's wild. And then they're proposing that all of the money they find from corruption, that they're going to give it back to us. Like, can you imagine us getting a check because they were corrupt? It's none of their business. I mean, I'll take the money. What?
I'll take the money.
Always bothers me. I hate this president.
Just a little palate cleanser, that's all. Obviously, those tears were fake, and she was being sarcastic, and if you didn't pick that up, you should probably go check get checked out for autism or some shit like that, because kind of seems like that's what's happening right now. You know, it kind of seems like that's what's going down right now. Kind of seems like that's going down right now. You know, this, however, is not manipulated footage. Yeah. Dude, what's up with this guy? Why is he always touching people so much? Dude, he's always like trying to hold your hand and shit, grabbing your arm and going in for the hug and trying to kiss you and shit. Oh, fuck. Fuck. You know, it's just really weird when you look at body language of people and individuals. Yeah. Now we got to start talking about the other guy. The dictator-in-chief. Little dictator, Zelensky. The pride of the European Union. Yep. Hello, JD. You are bitch. Ooh, big words coming from Captain Vagina. Yes. So, it's been known that, Zelensky came back to the United States to beg for more money from the United States for his failing war with Russia. Yeah. The war that he claims Russia started. But, like, I mean, didn't he try to join the NATO, and then Russia said that they would invade if they did that? So it's kind of like, you know, it's a he said, she said type situation. Right? But yes.
And very good feeling. I think our country has really turned around. We had a meeting today, as you know, with President Zelensky, and I would say it didn't work out exactly great from his standpoint. I think he very much overplayed his hand. We're looking for peace. We're not looking for somebody that's going to sign up a strong power and then not make peace because they feel emboldened, and that's what I saw happening. I'm looking for peace. We're not looking to go into a 10-year war and play games. We want peace. And it was just my impression that if we do that, if we sign up, he's looking for something that I'm not looking for. He's looking to go on and fight. We're looking to end the death. 2,000 people died this week. Soldiers, more than that, but 2,000 approximately people died this week. Young Ukrainians and Russians. And somebody would say, why do you care about Ukraine and Russian soldiers? I care about them. I care about everybody. And we're not doing that. Now, if we don't do anything, he's going to have to make peace, but he's dealing with a very weak set of cards. If we sign, he's dealing with a very strong set of cards, and then he doesn't want to make peace. So that's where we are. It's very simple. I'm not looking to get into anything protracted. I want immediate peace. President Putin is going to want to make, and he wants to end it. And you saw what I saw today. This is a man that wants to get us signed up and keep fighting, and we're not doing that. Not for this country. So we're setting a lot of records. Economically, we're setting records, and I think every way we're setting records. One of the best is the right track, wrong track. You saw that. We're on the right track for the first time in over 27 years. People are...
Yeah. I mean, it was a pretty big shit show watching Trump and Zelensky talk to each other. I didn't get a chance to watch it until way after it happened, but I mean... It was pretty interesting to see, I would have to say. Because, I mean, he completely fucking tore him apart, dude. Like, Zelensky coming to the United States, acting like he is a king, expecting that he is going to get the same respect that he got from Joe Biden. I mean, everybody looked at that situation under Joe Biden and how we were just giving bazillions of our dollars for this stupid fucking war that doesn't involve us whatsoever. This guy never had a chance to win. I mean, he was deluded enough to think that he might have a chance or whatever, and he's fighting, but, like, he hasn't made one attempt for peace. Not one. He's never attempted to stop it. They've never attempted to talk about anything. It's just been back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And it's stupid, dude. It's real stupid. Like, why does he think that he's going to get anything from this guy, right? You know? Why does he think that he's going to have any control of anything in this particular situation? And I don't get, dude. I don't get it, dog. He thinks that he's going to be the one in charge. He thinks he's going to be the one that's dictating the terms and stuff. But obviously,
well, the elites in America
he's never negotiated with Trump, right? And, like, do you really think that Trump is going to ask him anything, right? You know, no, Trump is going to dictate the terms of everything, and Zelensky's not going to get a chance to speak, right? Or if he does get a chance to speak, he better be saying something good like, "Thank you, Mr. Trump. Please, Daddy, give me some more," right? That's what you should be trying to hear. We should be hearing him being thankful.
Is, I've empowered you to be a tough guy. And I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. And your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but you'll fight it out. But you don't have the cards. But once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing. I'll be honest, that's not a nice thing. All right. The problem is,
you know, that's pretty much it. Like, he's been made out to be this big tough guy that, you know, is apparently going to take down big bad Putin, but he was just never the guy. Never the guy. Not ever, not once, not never. Like, he literally thinks, yeah, he really thinks that he's got it, dude. He really thinks.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's exactly what you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
Feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. Right now, you don't. You're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's back to you far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once? This entire meeting? No, in this entire meeting, have you said thank you? You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war,
He's not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly.
He's not speaking loudly.
Can I
Wait a minute. No.
Yeah. Watching that whole thing is so, it's just straight comedy, dude, because you're literally watching a guy who's like, why did I even come here? They were supposed to be giving me another $100 billion, not this. I got the war to fight. Like, he really thought that he was going to make the dictate in this situation. He thinks that he's just going to be able to say whatever, do whatever, act like a tough guy, and yeah, it ain't happening, right? So what's the next thing that he does? He runs over to fucking England, dude. He runs over to England, and he's like, Trump helping me.
Can anything be salvaged, President Zelensky? President Zelensky, can you get Trump back on side? Can this be salvaged, President Zelensky?
Can this be salvaged?
What's your message to the US President? Is it too late for your relationship with President Trump?
President Zelensky, can you get Trump back on side?
What is your message to Donald Trump? Is it too late, President Zelensky?
President Zelensky, how do you repair your relationship with President Trump, please?
Zelensky really is Ukraine's Greta Thunberg.
What's your message to Donald Trump, President Zelensky?
Nice little photo op. Nice little photo op for the guy. So, yep, can't get any money out of the United States. So, what's the first thing that he does is he runs over to fucking Europe. It says, "Save me from big bad mean Mr. Trump. Save me. He was mean to me. Him was mean." Yeah. That's exactly what's happening here. Fucking stupid. Stupid. Right? Like, shit is stupid. Here's more good videos.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring people, you bring them on a propaganda tour.
Come one.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring people, you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. I have been to.
You bring them on a propaganda tour. What's up, Sewer Guy Rob? Hello, Tech Response. Did you know a guy named Oscar Ferguson was a possible? Yeah, I guess. No, that name doesn't actually come up. But we ain't talk about the Epstein files no more. Yo, little late, son. Yo, little late, bitch. So why are they attacking him? Or are they attacking him? Or is this not an attack? And is this more of something different, right? Because I think it's more of something different, dog. Like, he gets a not so nice welcome in the United States because we're like, yeah, we don't really want to be spending any money on your situation anymore. But yes, the UK decides to give him a royal welcome after what they call a White House meltdown. Did he really melt down? I don't think so. I don't think so, but yeah, it looks like the UK has decided to start supporting the war in a big way, right? Like, that seems to be what's going on. In this particular situation, he got a royal audience. And after that interesting exchange that he had with Trump, they're going to change the way that things are happening moving forward. Is that what we're supposed to be expecting and believing? Because, I mean, he literally got dressed the fuck down. Like, I don't think that anybody has ever been dressed down that hard in the history of histories, right? You know, like, these guys, they just don't have any understanding or idea of what we're dealing with. And it's even weirder that the UK is going to be moving shit back up. So it's like, we can all look at what Trump just did with Zelensky and be really happy about it and laugh at all the really fucking funny ass memes. But you know what? There's a lot of big questions. Why didn't he wear a suit? Why was he wearing black jeans and a black t-shirt, not looking very presidential? Why didn't he dress for the occasion? You know, maybe Vance impressed you because he was, at least aware of what's going on over there. But, I mean, there's just no reason that we should be impressed with, any of the actions that the president or the vice president put forward. I mean, sure, they really dressed him down and they, put him in his place like the child that he is. But that technically wasn't the right move to be making here. And it's just like, again, with, just the consistent bad moves right? It could have been handled just in a simpler way. It could have just been like, yeah, this is what we want. If you're not willing to agree with it, then we don't have anything to talk about. But, putting all this other shit into the air is just basically going to force the European Union to do something about it. And that's already what we're seeing right now. And if Trump thinks that's rare, he wants to see a 10-year war, it's going to start happening, right? It's going to start happening. And then all of Trump's people, because, if you look at this in the juxtaposition of what was happening here, right? We got the Hava Nagila squad protecting us in the Epstein situation, and then we're supposed to just like what's happening over here. I mean, yo, dude, if you're gonna go hard at Zelensky, why not start fucking? Why not go all the way? Why pussyfoot around with it? Why not take it to level 9 and super make fun of him? That's the question that I wonder about every single fucking day. Whether it's this or that or whatever the fuck. You got to realize that homeboy is working on a different team now. And it's so clear to anybody that's watching, right?
Very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred. And I understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with, him either. So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe.
Trump's not going to stop the aid. That's the whole point.
I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough.
Look at Zelensky's face.
But you're never going to get a deal that way. So
he's just seething.
All right, one more question.
Hey, I want to respond to this. So look. For 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending that the president of the United States' words.
Home and Garden, Israel wants the war over in Ukraine because they consider Ukraine to be their territory, part of their ancestral homeland that was promised to them 3,500 years ago or some bullshit like that. So they want the war in Ukraine to stop right now for a multitude of reasons. Number one, so that they get a much larger viewpoint of aid, right? Because the destabilization situation for the EU, they're not helping Israel the same way the United States is helping Israel, right? So they want the war in Ukraine to stop because they'll see it as them being able to acquire more guns and funds and get more attention to push forward on their stuff. So if you look at it, it falls in line with Trump saying that he wants to get this thing over is because, he's got something else that he'd much rather focus on.
Mattered more than the president.
And it's not the United States. It's Israel. Because, the second term of Donald Trump has very clearly been shown that it's not about making America great again. That's the lie that they're kind of floating to us. Like, oh, we're saving you money, we're doing all this stuff, but everything is just moving forward towards them spending big amounts of money over in Israel to build a bunch of fucking hotels and shit.
The United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied our parts, big parts of Ukraine.
That's true. The original Jewish Khazaria was into Ukraine. The funniest part about it is that the land that was promised to the Israelites isn't actually in where Israel is right now.
Part of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So
it was used to be just like this little tiny patch of land or whatever that wasn't that big, but over the years it's just expanded to being they basically they would own your house.
During a lot of years, so I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact
2015.
2014.
2014 and 2014.
Yeah. So he killed.
Yeah, he definitely don't like Vance.
That's exactly right.
Yes, but during 2014 till 2022, the situation the same. The people have been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversation, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him, me, like a new president in 20.
You know, if you think about that shit, right? Native American, 17,000 years of history. Yeah, dude, you know, like Jews and Native Americans are very similar in their thoughts and ideas about who belongs or whose land belongs to what, or what land belongs to who. You know, like if you look at Native Americans, they're like, this is our ancestral homeland and we've lived here for 17,000 generations or some shit like that. So, like, nobody has any rights to the land and you're just the white man, living on their property or whatever because God gave it to them. I mean, it's not really that different than the Jewish ideology of their claim to Israel, right? So it's like, if we support Israel's claim, then ipso facto, we're huge fucking hypocrites if we don't support the Native Americans' claim to the United States, right? But then again, are all you motherfuckers gonna move out and go move back to wherever you fucking came from? No.
2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel, we signed ceasefire. Ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go. We signed with him.
Just remember, though, I'm part of the Jesus ideology. I don't believe in Christianity, and I don't believe fully in Catholicism because I don't worship idols. I hold my faith in Jesus Christ. And then he said it was cool if I call upon, like, any of the other gods or whatever because, being one of them, I should be allowed to speak with my kind. Yes. Yes. I'm not even supposed to be here.
Gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people, and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You will feel it in the future. Wow. When you watch this, like, this is probably the most hammering 7 minutes of the conversation that came forward from these guys, and each of them is really trying to push forward here, and, they're double teaming Zelensky for sure, Like, Zelensky he can barely speak English, okay? And he's supposed to be able to eloquently battle it out between Donald Trump and his fucking mini-me, J.D. Vance, the guy that just studied his mannerisms and shit, and makes the exact same motions as him because he's, like, fucking copying everything that he's doing. I mean, there's really no way that, there's no way. He's already the one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest, okay? You know what I'm saying? He's the one-legged guy in the ass-kicking contest. And then on top of that, he can barely speak. So, like, he was going to get obliterated either way. The fact that he took this meeting and thought that something else was going to happen, or if he was giving it, that's his own fucking problem. Because honestly, it's crazy, right? It's crazy. And you're correct. Only the New Testament states that only the followers of Christ are the chosen people. Because only the followers of Christ are following the new covenant, because the old covenant is gone forever. Will never come back, no matter how many no matter how many times you try to build fucking temples or take over people, they're never gonna come back. That's gonna be gone forever. Gone forever, unless you're one of the 144,000, of course. One of the 144,000 Jews who give up on their demonic and diabolical manifestations of the world and choose to follow Christ.
God bless. You will not have war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
That is incorrect, Mr. Blacksmith. Christ is indeed a person.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to
You can't have a Christ consciousness without a person that created the consciousness. Feel me? Like,
dictate that.
That's exactly what you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. Right now, you don't. You're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III.
This motherfucker is casting spells over here. What are you doing right now? The Drasnian hand language, motherfucker? What are you saying? That's not even how you do it right.
Gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country, that's backed you far more than a lot of people said they should.
Jesus Christ was not the most famous Jew to ever walk the earth.
Have you said thank
He was the king of the Jews.
you once?
According to the Jews.
No,
they killed
in this
him.
entire meeting, have you said thank you?
Or they had the Romans
You went
do
to
it.
Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save.
Yeah, you better be coming over here and sucking out Big Daddy Trump's weenus. Yeah, no. The idea is there. The thought in question is being held to bear, and literally, like, you know, we don't really need to worry about what's happening over in the UK. You know, the UK giving the royal welcome to Zelensky while they're in the middle of the worst immigration crisis that the country has ever seen since, like, when they got invaded. Like, when was the last time that Britain got invaded? Britain gets invaded. Let's see. Yes, many times in history has Britain been invaded. The Vikings, Anglo-Saxons, Emperor Claudius of the Romans, the Norman invasion, Napoleon's planned invasion, the Battle of Fishergod. Yes, many, many, many times. Pick one of those. Any one of those or whatever. Yeah. So, think about that. Think about that. Yeah, think about it. The more we get into these situations, and the more the times that we look into it, it's like everybody likes the places that they live. But what people always forget to talk about is the ideological persuasion of the lands that they're in, right? Like in the United States, we're very free, we're very open. It was a Christian country until it was taken over by people that, you know, just were not moral or godly people, right? You know, like morality is not something that's intrinsically found in human beings, my friends. Right? Morality has to be taught. I think that even in the Bible they discuss that shit because, you know, morality is discussed, you know, rather quickly when the first murder is committed, right? Right? And, you know, prior to that point, you know, it didn't really exist and people didn't really have a concept of it. So it's either you read it through this book, and that book basically bases your morality on it, or nowadays you're like one of these people that just ignores it or whatever, and you grow up to be a person that just doesn't really understand these choices, right? Because that's what the Bible is. Even if you take it down to its brass tacks, it's basically kind of like a guidebook, I guess, like in the simplest of terms. If you don't believe any of that other shit, it's kind of a guidebook on how to not be an asshole, right? It gives you great examples of who's assholes. It gives you great examples of what an asshole is and how not to be one, right? And then it gives you even better examples of how people have tried to follow a path and then have failed miserably. So think about that. Think about that. Basic instructions, right? Because, regardless of what you think, like if you don't believe in heaven or hell, right, you're just going to go to nothing, right? That's what you're saying in your life. You're going to go to the black of the void, into non-existence, and never exist again. And that's a scary-ass thought, right? That'll fucking keep you up at night. I know it used to keep me up at night sometimes when you think about it. And you're like, fuck, man, I don't want to die, dude. And just fucking be gone? That sucks, right? Like, I don't want to go to nothingness. I'd much rather, fuck, if I lived a bad life, at least I'm living forever in hell. You know what I'm saying? Or, if you live a good life, you go to heaven. But even then, when you really look at the teachings of the Bible, all it's really telling you is, like, how you're expected to act when you get to heaven. And if you can't act right, you ain't going, right? Like, it seems real simple. Although there's people out there that don't even believe in any of that shit. There's people that believe in reincarnation. But even then, they're just reincarnating back on this planet, right? And they're either going to be a bug or like a better person, and it's all dependent on, their karma and how they did good in the world, And then there's other people that believe death, right? Death and destruction. I mean, even then, when you look at like a person that believes in Satanism, right? That person is still Christian in a way. That means they believe in God, because you can't have you can't have the devil without God, right? And then they're worshiping him. But then for the most theocratic version of their society is that there was always only one God. They're just worshiping the same God, but the evil aspect of it, because they believe that that's the true form of the one God. It's all very confusing. And I mean, even to think about it is that, like, fuck the Jews, man. Judaism isn't the oldest religion on the fucking planet. There's other religions that are older than that. I can name one of them. Zoroastrianism. Like, that existed before? Like, what the fuck? For a long time. Nobody even fucking talks about it, right? And there's a lot of people out there that seem to believe that, since Zoroastrianism was one of the first religions that originated in Persia, that talk about the teachings of Zoroaster, also known as Zarathustra, right? And if you look at Zoroastrianism, they believed in one God, Ahura Mazda, who created the world, created the heavens and earth. That sounds a lot like Christianity to me. They believed in an ongoing battle between good and evil. They believed that the good thoughts lead to good words and deeds. They believed that the elements are pure and that fire represented God's light and wisdom. We didn't start the fire, but it's always burning since the world been turning. We didn't start the fire. Sorry. Practices. Zoroastrians worship communally in fire temples or allegories. They traditionally pray several times a day, and they keep the sacred fire burning continually and feed it at least 5 times a day. Who else prays 5 times a day? Muslims. Yes. They have rites for purification and a regeneration of the fire, and Zoroastrianism was the state religion of 3 Persian dynasties until the Muslim conquest of Persia in the 7th century AD. Zoroastrianism refugees called Parsis escaped in persecution by Iran and immigrating to India. Yeah, Zoroastrianism and Hinduism are so much older. And the Bible. And if you notice something, Zoroastrianism is not in the Bible. Yeah. And they say that Zoroastrianism, the Bible itself predates it, right? But that doesn't seem to be clear or the case whatsoever, because the Zoroastrian temples are fucking older than Christianity, Judaism. They've been there longer than anybody can remember, because they were literally around in the times of Sumeria, or probably before that. So it's like, the other thing to think about is that a lot of people tend to believe, if they've really done their homework, is that the Magi were actually Zoroastrian, because in the book of Zoroastrianism, it actually predicts the coming of Jesus Christ, which is very, very strange. Very, very strange. You know? You gotta think about how these people view it and how they look into it and how it's there, but at the same time, nobody really goes through and pulls it in, because everybody is taught that, it's only one way. But in the times of Jesus, like, if Jesus was really Jewish, they wouldn't have made his mother sleep in a barn. They would have let her sleep in the house. They saved that for the animals. And who did they consider to be animals during that time? The Zoroastes. And that was the Romans and the Jews. Not just one or the other. So if you really think about it, it's like, I look at how we're dealing with all of these interesting anecdotal pieces of information that are sitting here. It kind of makes you wonder where any of this is supposed to be going. Or at least it makes me wonder where this shit's supposed to be going, because I have no idea. Even when you look at the books in Hinduism, right, and you look at Krishna and all of the different gods or whatever that are associated with their religion, they're not technically, sure, there's a bunch of different aspects and depictions of a god, but ultimately, they all believe that one god, or all those gods, just flow into one, and they just exist as aspects of the one, right? So the many-faced god, right? One guy, lots of faces. Like in that, who had the many-faced god? Wasn't that fucking Game of Thrones? Isn't that Game of Thrones? Yeah, I think that's Game of Thrones. I don't know, bro. I just worry. I worry every day sometimes, I try to put it out of my mind and don't think about it. But when I look at what's happening in the Middle East and, how much money and time that people are spending pushing that narrative, it really makes you start to wonder whether they're not trying to force something. And I don't think that it's going to work, right? Shit. There was Greek gods. There was fucking all kinds of different gods way before the people were worshiping or talking about for much time. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we're changing the general idea of what's happening here. Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. But you know what I do know? Is that when you take these times to look at it, you gotta ask yourself, it's like, man, are we really doing the moral thing, right? Like, should we be helping Zelensky in Ukraine? Should we be helping Israel and all that stuff? It's two different crazy sides of the coin, right? And then when you look at what's happening with this Jeffrey Epstein situation and how they're trying to use this old big piece of information and just completely ultra flopped it. Like, it wasn't just a flop. It was an ultra flop, right? It just exploded in their faces spectacularly. And they act like it's not clear why this happened. And that's where it just gets even sillier to me. Like, you look at what they're talking about, right? And they're trying to tell you right now that they're in control and they're in charge of everything and they understand everything and they're going to get all the files out and whatnot. And what did they do? They used it they used it as a staging point. Like, it doesn't make any sense as to how they did this, right? They put out less information that we already had and we're supposed to celebrate it. Like, what are they priming us for? That's the real question, is what are they trying to prime us for? And the world may never know. Hello, Bianca Zombie, person on Rumble. Oh, somebody from Rumble actually chatted. 51 people on YouTube, nobody on Rumble. We're using Rumble Studio to stream. Rumble's kind of a joke now. I just gotta say it. Kind of a joke now. So now that we see on these two sides of things, it's like, can we really trust anything that's going to be coming out in the future, right? We've basically set the stage. JFK files, going to be a nothing burger. Fucking the rest of this Jeffrey Epstein's garbage, not even worth paying attention to, because the main people that are going to be pushing it are going to be defending the narrative like they're fucking Jewish nose guards or something like that. It's crazy. And then we're going to watch the European Union start pushing back and start pushing for this fucking Ukraine war. And then that's going to leave the United States open to basically just start investing in fucking Israel again. And is that what we really want? No. I thought we were supposed to be saving money, right? Stop sending money out, stop the foreign aid. But we haven't done that, right? I mean, we've done it for some people, but, Trump's already approving aid packages for Israel. Like, it's his job and it's his, American duty to do so, even though it goes completely against everything that he originally ran on, right? I ran on nobody getting money because we got a debt. We got to fix that shit. Because if we get anyone closer to 40K or 40 trillion, we're fucked. I mean, we're already fucked. It doesn't matter the amount of money that they save us with Doge and inefficiency. The fucking numbers are too wide, dog. Like, people file for bankruptcy for far less, okay? Like, the United States government's been bankrupt for a fucking long-ass time, bro. Like, you don't get $36 trillion in fucking debt and not be bankrupt, right? Kind of makes you wonder, baby. Let's pull up the debt clock. There it is right there. $36 trillion, and it keeps going up, right? Federal spending is still at $7 trillion. We still got fucking big, gigantic windfall that's coming down. And sure, Dodge has only saved us about $153 billion, but, that's still a $2 trillion budget deficit, right? Where are we supposed to get that from? I mean, you can't. You can't. Like, that number is never going to be positive. It's never going to happen, right? So, like, where are we going to go with this one, dudes? There's no amount of money that can be pulled from places. There's no amount of money that can be saved from places. There's no amount of cryptocurrencies that could be created to even create that much money in the fucking global system. So, like, where's the global reset? Where's the reality of this thing, right? Like, the time machine tells us, right? We go back to the 1980s, started then, guys. Like, we didn't start tracking the United States debt until it got close to being a fucking trillion, right? You go to the little debt clock machine. You can only go back to the 1980s because it was in the 1970s that shit started going bad, right? Like, in the 1970s is when something happened and we started running out of fucking money like crazy. And some people even say that this is, coincides with the creation of the Star Wars program and the secret Space Force Solar Warden and all the money. When we originally looked at the U.S. debt clock is when we had our breakaway civilization that, was taken to the stars. It's the only thing that makes sense that they could have spent that much fucking cash on. Right? But then again, it's been a corrupt federal government. I mean, the only other thing that they could have spent that on would have been an entire fucking country. And think about that. It's just gone up every year ever since, and it's never gone away. And it ain't ever gonna go away, bro. Not in your time, not in my time, not in your kids' time, not in your kids' time. Maybe in your kids' time. It could go away, but, like, to be perfectly honest, this situation is far worse than anything that I've ever seen. And to think about, like, how the news is just coming forward, like, can't even give it to us. Yeah, the 20 trillion COVID PPP scam screwed us royally. Massive fraud occurred. Of course, dude. Yep. We had the 2008 crisis that got exploded with the housing market. We're about ready to have another one of those things, right? You know, there's a gigantic bubble in the student loan debt area, right? Mm-hmm. Pick them. People talk about 9/11. You know, it was a problem way before that, dude. It was a big problem way before then. You know, there was wars in the 70s and 80s and 90s. And it was the wars that were putting us into those positions. That's the thing that you need to think about. And, you know, it's smart of Trump to say that, yeah, we need to stop the war in Ukraine because, you know, that's $350 billion in funds and fucking equipment. Probably more than that. That has been sent over there and basically wasted, right? And then we got to replace them. We got to replace them. Just like when we send shit over to Israel so they can defend themselves, you know, we're fucking wasting our shit on them, and they don't give two shits about it. They think that, you know, it's our honor to do it, and they don't have to pay us back. And no, they should be paying us for every single one, a little bit of that. You know what? We should be charging them a tax. Usury. They're real into it, I hear, right? So, yeah, we should be charging them like 29% interest on anything that we give them, and they should have to pay it back to us. Like, period, end of story. Like, Trump, you just sent $7.8 billion to Israel. We should be seeing a check for $8.5 billion back from them. You know, we don't do that anymore. You know, we're spending money on she-male hamster studies, and you think that stopping that is going to fix the fucking problem? No. Bro, they're just setting you up, right? Elon Musk, you think he's going to be able to fix that situation? Elon Musk has had operational control of Dogecoin for years. And guess what? He ain't done shit with it. And you know why? It's because he doesn't know how to do shit with it. It's because he understands that he can't fix that shit. He can only make it worse. So, take the ideas that have been given to you and the understandings that are here and realize that, you know, the world's getting weirder every single day. You know, here's Putin. Putin says he wants a ceasefire. And you know what? He'll give America the rare earth materials. Fuck Ukraine.
Американским нашим партнерам, когда я партнеры говорю, имею в виду только административные, правительственные структуры, ну и компании, если бы они проявили интерес к совместной работе. У нас, безусловно, на порядок, я хочу это подчеркнуть, на порядок больше ресурсов подобного рода, чем в Украине. Россия является одним из безусловных лидеров по запасам этих редких и редкоземельных металлов. Они у нас имеются и на севере, в Мурманске, на Кавказе, в Кабардино-Балкарии, на Дальнем Востоке, в Иркутской области, в Якутии, в Тыве. Это достаточно капиталоемкие инвестиции, проекты капиталоемкие. Мы с удовольствием работали бы совместно с любыми иностранными партнерами, в том числе с американскими. Да, кстати говоря, что касается новых территорий, то же самое. Мы готовы привлечь иностранных партнеров и так называемые новые наши исторические территории, которые вернули в состав Российской Федерации. Там тоже есть запасы определенные. Мы готовы с нашими партнерами, в том числе с американскими, работать там.
So the TLDR on that is that Putin is already coming out and saying, hey, Ukraine can do whatever it wants. Little dictator can cry about whatever he wants. He's not going to get the help from Trump. And then, right on the back end of that, if the little dictator thinks that he's going to use his rare earth mineral rights, Trump can still just make a deal with fucking Putin for him without Zelensky. He could just make the deal with Putin, says, all right, well, you know what? We'll back you in this whole Ukraine thing. You just give us the rights to the rare earth materials that Zelensky is trying to fuck us around on, and you got yourself a deal, champ. And sure, that would be like a huge ooh or whatever, but it would just be par for the course at this point because we're watching the same thing happen over in Israel, right? So think about it, everything's getting positioned to be very clear of what's going to be happening next, right? Like Trump is basically being very clear about what he wants, and he says that he wants the materials, right? He wants them rare earth materials. He wants that put into his pocket, and he don't want to see it go anywhere else. You know what? You want a refund? You want war, right? That's not what they want. They want something completely different. We just want the materials. Trump understands that, they're not going to beat the American people with people. You're not going to beat the people of the world with human beings. You're going to beat them and put them into submission with artificial intelligence, right? And what is that going to take? It's going to take lots of batteries, lots of rare earth materials, lots of microchips, and time. Yes, time. So just watch where this is going, dude. Watch what fucking Putin's doing. He's being smart about this, right? Like, he already knows that he's in much better position with Trump than he's ever been. And he can push him. And, we're clearly watching Trump basically try to push back on Zelensky to get him to stop this and, end the situation. And it's like he doesn't even understand what is being told to him, right? Because he's just expecting to get more and more money because he sees himself as like a little Netanyahu, I guess, is what you're really going to be talking about, right? And everybody's been real quiet about what's been going on over there, but, that's going to be in the news for the next 4 years, dudes. Like, it ain't going anywhere else. And you're right, CB, it is just warmongers on all sides with our tax dollars, no matter what we do. And unless you don't pay taxes, there's no way that your money is never going to go. But, they get you either way, right? They get you either way. They get you either way. Although, the biggest thing that we have to wait for is this Israel-Gaza thing. They've extended the ceasefire for a little bit longer. But that just means, that they're waiting for something. Right? What are they waiting for? More land! More land for their settlers to steal, right? Because if they don't steal it, somebody else will, right? They don't steal it, somebody else will. It's a logic. Logic. It's logic. Yeah, I don't think it's really logic. I think we're looking at a group of very, very unfortunate people that are out there, and who knows... what the hell? Nitrado was taken offline. That's hilarious. That sucks, dude. Son. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through to see if there's any other news stories or something that I needed to put on, but my Discord is not working for some reason. Yep, you're right. Biden was such a pushover. He just rolled right over for everyone, including Zelensky. And Zelensky was literally not ever a man that, like, if I was in Ukraine and he came in and he was like the president or some shit, I would ignore him because, like, who the fuck are you? Right? What are you gonna do? Throw me in one of your fucking jails? I'll make you see the curvature of the earth, bitch. Mm-hmm. Israeli people are dying as fast as the Australians because they vexed. Yep, that's still a thing that's happening. So we might not have to worry about that one. I think that what we do have to worry about is just a large amount of elitist attitudes of individuals out there that are trying to act like everything is going their way. And I don't know. It's just always been my experience is that type of attitude is the type of thing that just really blows up in your face. There's people that are living on hopes and dreams, right? They exist on hopes and dreams. Like, they lie about everything on their resumes. They put all this bullshit together or whatever. And, I'm the other guy, like, I got to fight for my chances, right? I got to fight for everything that I fucking do if I want something. And even then, like, I get passed up for just the dumbest motherfuckers that I've ever met sometimes, just lazy peons. So when I get a chance at something, I usually do it to the best of my ability and then some, right? Just because I want to show folks that, this is what I do, but this is not what I do. You know what I'm saying? And I look at the things here, and I just see a lot of LARPing going on. I see the new LARPers that they're putting forward in my faces. Like, I understand the Trump LARP, and yeah, it's really fucking funny or whatever, but it's different this time. Because he's using it in a nefarious way, right? And he's not being really forward with folks anymore. But once you start to see it, you can't unsee it. You can't unsee it. Yep. The more that we come over here and the more that we look at this, the easier it is to be really clear about how this is supposed to happen for us looking in the future. I'm never going to start a cooking channel or use the Cordon Bleu. Why would I do so? That shit doesn't make money. Not for me. We've already tried to do that, and it didn't work. So why would we try to do something that we already did? Trying to do the same thing over and over again without changing. That's the definition of insanity. And I didn't go to culinary school to cook for other people. I went to culinary school selfishly so that I could get a college degree and work at the same time. Yeah. Like if it was any school, like if it was a fucking school for fucking building trucks, I would have done it because I would have had a job and I would have had some place to be for a few years. Ultimately, I liked it. I would just, like I've said many of times, the only reason I would even start a cooking channel or anything like that, again, would be if I owned a business where I could do it because, I'm not like some of these people that pay to get their videos pushed everywhere and make shitty shit. I've posted videos of me cooking before. They don't get those types of views. You guys don't watch those things like that, so why waste the time? That's just a wonder. I post videos all the time. The real question you should ask yourself, Shane and Ashley, is why always bring up old shit when you have no right or thought of the matter? That's just the reality of the things. Yep, just the reality of things. I tried to use my culinary degree, but in the culinary field, you either know somebody or you're never getting anywhere, right? I could outcook everybody that I worked for, but, I was a part of the cool kids club, so I didn't get the cool kids jobs. And that really sucked. So, you just go back to shit that that you're good at and then deal with the same thing. The only difference is that in the chef world, you have to work for somebody, right? There's really you can't just be a contractor. That doesn't really come along very often. Yeah, I just use my culinary skills for survival. And I don't really care if you're curious or not. I just dislike, having to retell the same old story 50,000 fucking times. That's just annoying as shit. You know what I'm saying? It's annoying as shit. It's bad, especially when the same person just keeps bringing it up over and over and over again, like a cocksucker. Cool. Yep. But the reality is that I went to school, had some fun, tried to do some jobs, and went and did some other ones. I don't really have to worry about that anymore. I don't really have to worry about that shit anymore, to be perfectly honest. I just want to do a good job every day and feel like I got some shit done and get paid for it. Like you're supposed to, like everybody else does, right? No, like everybody else does. 5 times now. 5 times now. 5 times now. Oh, and look, they're bringing it up again. Again. All right, then. Ta-ta. Goodbye. Anyways, the more that you look into this stuff, the more reality is that, when you create a space for yourself to make videos, this is the Griftcast. I don't care about what anybody else is asking. I don't have to pay attention to nothing. I do whatever the hell I want, right? That's what it's supposed to be about, because it's like a vlog, right? It's like a vlog of me parroting all of the toxic ideology that's out there and still doing a better job at investigating than they can. It's a meta understanding of what's happening in the world today, because you can watch it get put together and put out. We can watch it like the FC scandal years and years and years ago, put out everything, be very clear and concise, and be ignored. And then just because somebody else that had a little bit of play comes up a couple of years later, those are the people that go up, right? It's because fairness does not equate into the equation of life, right? Fairness is not part of life, right? That is not a part of the equation. Survival is, not fairness. Griftcast has always been about busting grifts and talking about what's going on in the world today and doing quite well at it. So, I guess at the end of the day, you should really ask yourself, is like, why do you spend time online? It blows me away why people watch live streams every day. What's the appeal? What's the thing? What's whatever? Don't get it. You got new socks, Mr. Blacksmith? That's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. I mean, can you realize that these people, there's people in the world that, they got nothing else in their lives, and, they spend it on the internet because they couldn't do it in person because they were too afraid, right? And for me, it's always been a meta thing. For me, is because, I try to be the same person always. But, I'm not that talkative, right? In normal life, this is the only time that, I get to talk to nobody. Nobody can interrupt me, and I can get the whole thought out. I like that, right? I like that. The more you look at how things move forward, and the more that you look at how people can't move past certain blockages that they've created for yourself, you have to ask yourself, why, right? If we apply it to the news and we look at this Zelensky Trump thing, there's a bigger narrative there, my friends. There's Zelensky's not the only one that's pretending, right? He's not the only one that's playing the game, as it were. Oh, I just lost the game. Anyways, the moral of the story, though, is that it doesn't matter who came to the story first, because information should be free, and we should all be upset that we have been played such as this. Like, there's no giving anybody a second chance. There's no pointing fingers and blaming anybody else in this situation. Is that promises were made and promises have not been kept. And you got to be kidding me, right? You got to be kidding me when you tell me that, oh, well, they might do it down the road at the end. That's not good enough. That's not good enough, and I refuse to accept it, right? You know, like, I'm a hard guy sometimes when I'm, at work or whatever. I got to talk, right? And I really explain things and I call them out, right? And, like, I am not afraid of telling somebody that that's dumb or that's retarded, as it were, because, like, there's people out there that really just have been on the world for a really long time and they really think that they know something because somebody else told them some shit or whatever. And then, when an actual expert shows up in the room and starts actually talking about it, they really don't have any leg to stand on. And I mean, I'll give you a perfect example. Two-factor authentication. So, let's talk about that. So when you get two-factor authentication code sent to your phone, do you do that? Do you get two-factor, text messages on your phone so that, when somebody logs into your account, you get a text message with the code that you have to type in to log in or whatever? Here's a question. So you work, right? Part of your work every single day is going into work and logging into your computer. Work doesn't provide you with the cell phone, right? But when you started working for them, they asked you if you have a cell phone, and they asked you if it's okay if you got calls and texts, and you said yes. Okay. So, you go to work, and the basic requirement for you to log on your computer is to use two-factor authentication. Are you okay with the two-factor code getting sent to your phone? That's the question. You got a job. You own a cell phone. Part of your job entails that you get a two-factor authentication from Microsoft. Let me tell you, from Microsoft, not from us, not from me, or the company, Microsoft. Are you okay with that? That's not what we said. We didn't say anything about authenticator apps. We said a text message, SMS. That's not what we said. SMS. I didn't tell you that you had to install an app on your phone. I didn't say that you had to do anything like that. All I said was that you got to get a two-factor SMS. Are you okay with that? Getting a two-factor SMS? And if not, explain yourself. No? So Mr. Blacksmith's a retard. Got it. Speak Lifeguard at Homestead is also a retard. Got it. J.R. Riggs is not a retard. J.R. Riggs is smart. That's good. That's good. Yes, that's good. Devin, also not a retard. Cool. Yes. Sus. He just said text. Teddy says yes. Teddy says yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, cool. Cool. So, in law, it's actually been proven, and there is precedent legally for SMS codes and text messages, because there's two things here that people don't seem to understand. Is number one, you get to choose which two-factor authentication method that you use. You can make another phone number, you can use a fake phone number, or you could just get the code sent to your phone. Do you know why it's okay? It's because your business, they can't get that subpoenaed, because technically the code is not coming from your business. It's coming from Microsoft. They would have to subpoena Microsoft in order to get access to your phone. But even more so, you got to be fucking retarded if you think that a fucking message getting sent to your phone one way with new two-way communication going on is going to fucking hack you in any fucking way. That's fucking retarded. Now, I would maybe agree with you if I pushed it up and said, hey, here's the Microsoft Authenticator app. Now, you already have it installed on your phone, maybe, because I have it installed on my phone. because I have a Windows computer and I cited a Hotmail, right? So I want to make sure I have that shit locked the fuck down, right? So I already had it set up, but then I start a new job and then I add it, right? Like they have Microsoft products and I want to use it. Does that skeeve you out? So there's the thing. Now, you get a new job, and what are the options for your two-factor authentications besides email, text message, or phone call is the Microsoft Authenticator app. Do you install the Microsoft Authenticator app and use it? That's where you go with that. That's where you go with that. So ask yourself now, same situation, but now instead of SMS, it's the Microsoft Authenticator app. Do you download it and use it for security, or are you giving me some cockamamie fucking cocksucker story about why I'm not installing that on my phone? Go. Mr. Blacksmith said yes. Riggs says yes. Teddy says yes. Yeah, the whole fucking world is Microsoft. Devin says yes, that or Google Auth. Right, see, we got smart people here. So, you gotta be fucking retarded if you think installing the Microsoft Authenticator app on your phone is going to allow a business to fucking spy on you. That's not how that fucking works, motherfucker. Like, it's offline. It's just generating a code based off of cryptography. So there's no fucking connection. The only connection comes in is if you put it in there, I want to be able to click on my phone. But even then, it's only a one-way communication where they send the auth, and it always goes through Microsoft. So, again, let's say you work for the state of Nevada, because I live there. And you're working for the state of Nevada, and you're on your phone, using your personal phone to do stuff, right? And you're doing business on your personal phone, meaning that you're sending text messages and emails and stuff because you downloaded Outlook and, Teams, and you were using your personal phone for that shit. And then all of a sudden, some things happen, litigation goes down, and then they subpoena your phone. Then yeah, they could technically do that, but they have to fucking provide you with the replacement of equal likeness. They can't just take your phone and not give you anything for that. The state of Nevada tries to do that, and they learned real quick that they were not allowed to because, they didn't expect that they had Big Dick McGee in their building or whatever taking cocksucker tech support calls. But then again, I could fit it anywhere. So, yes. Yeah. If you use authenticator apps that are tied to Microsoft, even if your business uses Microsoft in the cloud or whatever, they can't take your phone. Even if you're using Microsoft apps like fucking Outlook or fucking Teams, no, they can't subpoena your phone because they don't fucking need to because that shit exists on the server, you fucking retard. Literally, the only way they'd be able to subpoena your phone and actually get the records is if you were fucking doing business text messages off of it, not utilizing a work number where it's in their control. Or in a stupid situation where you're a dumbass and instead of downloading Outlook, you fucking use whatever built-in bullshit, like the Apple Mail shit. You know what I'm saying? Because you like the Apple Mail. And you're iMapping the messages to your phone and you use POP and they can't, because if you're using POP or IMAP, you could delete shit, right? So yeah, I got into a little tit for tat with a lady about that, and then I started bringing up lawsuits and court precedents and stuff like that, and I was just like, so yeah, literally, there's literally no reason that you should ever be bothering another person. She's like, well, I don't do work stuff on my phone. That's just not how things go. And I was like, so back in the 1970s, because this is an old lady. It was like back in the day when you were a little bit younger, like in the 70s, right? Did you used to get calls from your boss at your house on your home phone? That's a business call, isn't it? You did it back then. Oh, but the work needs to provide me with the phone if they want me to do this. They have to provide it to me. Nah, bitch. I'm going to delete your two-factor authentication, and if you don't set it up on your fucking phone, well, guess what? You don't get to log in. And you can fire me, or you can fire yourself. You choose. You fire me, though, you don't got access to shit. So think about that. So it's like, there's people out there that don't understand that every little thing that they're doing is being watched. Like, they're worried that their work is going to spy on you. So she's like basically telling me that I'm going to spy on her. I'm like, I'm going to spy on you. I can read your text messages and emails. I could do that. Apparently. I did not know that. I did not know that all I had to do is get you to sign up for Microsoft SMS codes and I fucking had full access to your phone. That's sick. Let me check that shit out, dude. I want to see what you've been looking at. No, that's not how that works. Literally. Like, why do these people exist? How is this even real? That's the fucking shit that I got to think about. Like, lady, you're using Microsoft, right? There's no way. Like, I have to give myself access to your inbox, and I could probably read your work emails, but why the fuck would I do that? Like, why do I care? I don't. Like, I don't have access to your phone. That's not how that works. I don't know who told you that. I don't know if you watched that on fucking TV or something. I was like, but that's not how it works. Like, you have to physically install something on your computer in order for that to work. Or I had to install something on your phone in order for that to work. And I was like, but like, how am I supposed to get my hacked app on the App Store and somehow manage to get you to fucking download it? Do you sound how crazy that sounds? Do you know how much work that would be? I was like, it would take months. Months of work. Just for like that. Just get on your phone. Like, I was like, we don't read your text messages. We don't have access to anything on your computer. I was like, I couldn't even remote into your computer right now if I tried. And you literally think that you're like getting spied on. It's fucking crazy, dude. You got a keylogger. Oh, no shit, they're keylogging my computer, dog. I'm like, bitch, the government's been doing that for years. What do you think FISA warrants are? FISA warrants are access to the fucking robot that sucks in all the information. That's what it is. You gotta fill out fucking paperwork, and then they go to the little computer, and then they search for it. And then the robot gives them back the information that they got, that they pulled up from fucking spying on you in your phone calls and your text messages and all that other bullshit. That's what that is. I don't understand why people don't get that. Like, what do you think a FISA warrant is? They're asking the robot, the first AI that they built back in the day, like right after 9/11, they're like, hey, Mr. AI robot man that we built, here's a name. Tell us what you know. And then it's going to go, here you go. Here you go. And then they go, okay, thank you for this FISA 302 or FISA warrant for surveillance or whatever. They got all your shit, dog. They read all of it. They don't care. They don't care. Yeah, just like so many people don't understand these fucking little simple things. It just blows me away. Like, another thing that really made me laugh, or whatever, is that I've been doing shit, right? Like, I don't know, I get shit done, I want to get all the shit done so I can kick back, look around and be like, I did a good job, this shit's fucking taken care of. That's not gonna happen for like 6 fucking months, dude. You're like, I got so many things that I need to fix, right? Like, it's so much. I have to hack switches, access points, and all this other crap. But it's fun, right? But, like, when you start explaining to people just how bad things were and are, and then they're like, nah, it couldn't be like that. And I'm like, oh, yeah, dude. No, it's like that. That's exactly how it is. I was like, you could think that it's not like that, but I'm telling you right now, I can show you. And literally, like, you just don't even understand sometimes. Like, I don't understand sometimes. I don't get it sometimes. Yeah. Yeah, dude, I just prioritize. That's all I do. Is I prioritize the stuff that I can fix. I did all the hard. I prioritize the really hard stuff to begin with, and then I do the easy stuff. That's the way that I do it. So I go at the hardest thing first. But in this particular situation, I tried to go for the hard thing first, but then I had to work my way up to the hard thing because I had to do things to get there. Now I'm here, but then I still have to do a bunch more work to get to where I want to be or where we should be. But there's a lot. Like, it's just a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. I got most of it done, though. Most of it. Now I just got a bunch of easy shit to do. But it's just time consuming, easy shit. Mm-hmm. 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 I just prioritize. And then whenever I have anything, I mean, I just go directly, but I don't know. Like this next week, I got to set up some type of like remote software. This shit's just so fucking expensive, bro. Like, Jesus Christ, man. Software as a service needs to die. Literally needs to die. And then Microsoft is going to all software as a service. Like, that's their fucking business model now, dude. Software as a service. Which, I mean, I guess works for fucking Outlook, but, like, imagine when they start charging you monthly for fucking Windows. That shit's coming, bro. That shit's coming. That's, like, 5 months away, probably. 5 months away, you're going to be, instead of paying, for a fucking Windows license, you're going to be paying monthly for that shit, or you're just going to lose access. That's going to be the fucking day. But you know what? Steam is going to save us, because, you know what? I've already stopped playing all the games that I can't play on Linux. I'm just going to have to switch again. Just going to have to fucking do it. Either that or go back to Apple. I got a lot of fucking thoughts to think about. Like, do I go back to getting... Yeah, Linux is getting better. It's getting a lot better. Like, I used to use it a while back. Like, I used it for years, man. But it was just annoying sometimes, right? Like, super annoying. But, I mean, the new versions of Ubuntu and shit like that are great. Like, it's got fucking everything that you need. I mean, if that doesn't work for you and you're one of the people that need something that looks like Windows or an OS, that shit works. You know? I mean, obviously, Kali, Debian, I like Ubuntu. I was using Peppermint Linux for a while. And then I was using Cube's OS on this computer for the longest time, but it was really just running Cube's OS, and then I was just running a Windows VM on top of it. And now I'm just running Windows 11, but then I have WSL installed with the Ubuntu VM so I can do Linux shit. But I don't really use this computer for much now. Like, I've been using Sherry's laptop that she never used. It's like she bought this nice laptop, we got it all set up for her, and then she never fucking used it. So then she hands it to me, and she's like, "Oh, you can use it." And I mean, it's a good laptop or whatever, but it's kind of too light. And then I was using it for work or whatever, and I kind of screwed up the screen a little bit. Like, I didn't break the screen, but like it dented on the back. Now the lights are a little fucked up, but it still works fine. She's like, "What?" Yeah, it busted. It's not that busted. It's a little busted. I don't know what happened. I'll be right back. Let me go get it. Hey, Lunchie, watch the stream. Oh, I need shoes, man. Dude. Right here. See, you can see. Wait. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it got dented. But now, like, watch. You'll see it. Wait, hold up. Wake up, bitch. It's probably too cold. It's kind of cold outside. Oh, yeah, right there. You can kind of see it right here. See this right here? I mean, you can't really see it when you're using it or whatever, but it's when the screen lights up and it's black, you can see it. So, like, yeah, when you use it normally, you don't really see nothing. But when it's cold outside, it's like a little pink. But yeah, it's probably my bad. It's definitely my bad. So I can see it right now. Right there. Barely see it. Yeah, it's still functional. Everything works good. It was in my backpack, and my backpack is heavy. I always have tools in it or whatever, so I guess the tools were like... I mean, it's a great laptop. Like, we got it for Sherry's because it's big and light, but she never used the motherfucker. Literally never fucking used it. Complete waste of good technology. I told her she should have just got the fucking MacBook and she would have used that thing. Yeah, the mouse cursor gets stuck on the net. That's exactly correct. No, it doesn't actually. I don't know. I had to take it apart and like there was like a little piece of plastic that I don't know. Yeah, it's not a waste because I'm still using it, but fucking. I never expected that to happen, I guess, is where I should be. I thought it would be a little tougher. Because, I mean, I had the little, for a while there, I was using the Surface 2? Surface Go? It was like, for a while there, I had a Surface Go, right? One of these things. And I used that for a while until it stopped charging. And then I went to it's an LG Gram. It's a Costco LG Gram. So made by this wood. Actually, it's this right here. Yeah, this one. Costco exclusive LG Gram 17 ultra lightweight laptop with 10th gen Intel Core. Works really good. We just put more RAM in it and then a bigger hard drive. That's all. Well, I mean, it does everything I needed it to do. Can't really play games on it, and it's not that great for streaming because it technically doesn't have a fan. I mean, it's got fans, but I tried using it for streaming, and anytime I ever streamed in 1080p, it never really worked. Right. I'll show you what I want. Yeah, it's just a business laptop. I've been using it at work. This is what I want, though. This is what I fucking want. Oh my god. I watched all the videos on this fucking thing. This thing is nasty. This thing is insane. Literally insane. It's better than it's like a Mac, it's like a M1 Mac had a baby with a fucking Surface laptop and it can play games. Let's see. A lot of people have been making videos on it too. Like, complete game changer for portable gaming. Motherfuckers playing cyberpunk and shit on a goddamn tablet. Kind of weird though. Where's all the shorts? Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, boy. Yeah, it's AMD. I'm never buying an Intel processor ever again. The last Intel processor I bought was this 10850K, and it's been great. Don't get me wrong. I got the 10850K. It's good or whatever. The only reason I bought it was because I couldn't get what I wanted, which was the Ryzen shit. And I wasn't about to fucking wait for it to come in the mail because I don't do that shit. I'll go pick that shit up. I don't want to wait. I have this. Right, but this thing sucks up juice. It sucks up the juice. And it's starting to show its age because I had to turn off the overclocks and shit because I can't handle the overclocking of the RAM and shit anymore. So I got to start thinking about putting together or getting a new computer. But I started looking at this one because, I mean, the graphics are insane. Right? Yeah, but it's like fucking $4,000, dog. Like playing the new Civilization at 105 frames a second on a fucking tablet on max settings.
Street Fighter 6. I'm gonna fail you up to the spine. Try me, I learned on my lessons. I realized I got
30 seconds before you attack.
They got the V-Sync on. Bitch, you got the V-Sync on. Nobody wants to see that shit. Yeah, so it's like, I don't know. AMD is kind of fucking going insane right now. Like, integrated graphics from GT or from AMD GPUs is beating 4070s. Like, I have a 4070 in my computer, and like, this little fucking box, like, oh, here, I'll go pull this up. Framework. This right here is insane. So, I've been wondering why I haven't been seeing tons of fucking computers coming out with this AI Max chip, because you could literally get 128 megabytes of memory that's split for the system memory and game memory in one little chip or whatever, because it's a one-board computer, right? And they're just sticking it in a tablet. They somehow managed to fit that in the tablet. And then Framework comes out, and they're offering the same things, but they're offering it in a desktop because they couldn't figure out how to fit it in their laptops, I guess. I actually had a call with them for work about these because I was like, what the shit? You know, like they got these little tiny desktops with the Framework shit on them, but they're literally coming with the fucking processor. Like, the processor that I'm talking about, the AI or the Ryzen AI Max Plus 395 with 128 gigabytes of RAM, all built in. It's 16 cores, 32 threads, plus it's got 40 graphics cards with fucking 128 gigabytes of DDR4. That's insane, bro. That's better than my computer. And it's cheaper. Like, it probably cost me $3,000 over time putting all that shit together. And literally that same thing that they're playing the games on. One board computer, no fucking GPU, no NVIDIA, just buy the thing and play games at fucking 1080p. Or play games at 2K. You can't at 4K, you gotta turn the graphics down a little bit, probably. But that's pretty crazy. Like, that Framework is actually putting out a desktop, and you can really see that it's a small computer. Like, the frame of it only really goes from right here to right here, and it's just super tiny, and it's got 2 USBs, 2 display ports, 2 USB-Cs, and then an HDMI with Ethernet. And then you could get another Ethernet on the front or whatever little add-ons that you want. And they got all kinds. They got all kinds. Like, this right here is probably the best deal for a desktop that I've ever seen. Because, like, even if you go with the very, very basic version of it, you get 32 gigabytes of RAM and an 8-core, 16-thread CPU at 5 gigahertz. And the 32 gigs of RAM is split between the memory of the system and the memory of the game. So, like, on that's the chip that most of the ROG 13 flows are getting sent out with, is that chip right there. So you really got to think that, like, computers right now are really weird, right? Because if you go look at Dell or HP, a lot of them aren't really offering any kinds of SKUs for this type of processor, but this thing is pretty sick, dude. Like, shit is insane. Shit is insane, bro. Yo, where's the video? Didn't they have a video for this shit? I thought they had a video. But yeah, they also launched their For Business, right? So I actually contacted them about that because I was like, these might be dope, right? But I would keep the box, right? But instead, on the front of using their little panels or whatever, I'd make some out of aluminum. Get it made out of aluminum. Fuck yeah. Shit would be hot. Although, I don't know where's the framework? Framework desktop.
Hey everybody, it's Norm from Tested, and
here we go.
Halo Strix line that they announced at CES a little over a month ago, and we're starting to see systems with Halo Strix come into the marketplace. So it's not exactly, even though it's a mini ITX form factor, it's not your traditional mini ITX system where you could upgrade memory, for example. Here, the APU and the memory is soldered on. The case is custom designed by Framework, so it's where you
look at that. It's literally this one little board. So, like, there's a little Wi-Fi module right here on an M2, and then they got another M2 right here with the fucking M2 hard drive.
Upgrade memory, for example. Here, the APU and the memory is soldered on. The case is custom designed by Framework, so it's a 4.5 liter case, and with some of the hallmarks that you might find familiar with mini ITX cases, so support for a big 120 millimeter fan on the side, a 40 millimeter fan play port, 2 USB-C, 2 USB-A, HDMI, 3.5 millimeter audio jack, but in the front, some...
Like, I just see this thing for, my applications, because I got people that are using a bunch of weird shit, doing a bunch of CAD programs and simulations and stuff, and, technically, this would be better for that than gaming, right? Because it's got an APU that's got a bunch of AI compute units. And yes, those can be used for fucking video games and shit, but they're more well off for like other shit, like fucking doing CAD.
Uniquely Framework elements. So you have the same kind of USB-C module that Framework has released and that allows you to swap out USB-C I/O or different I/O on their laptops. Those same modules, 2 of them can fit on the bottom of the Framework desktop. 32 gigs of shared memory, mid-range.
I need the actual Framework desktop video, though, not the fucking... this shit. What was it? Wasn't it like... Didn't Framework actually put out a video for this? But where's the actual Framework video?
Early last year, our friends at AMD started telling us
about
this massive new processor
this is good
coming
enough.
up on the roadmap called Ryzen AI Max.
You could clean this with Galaxy Gas? No, dude, I'll just use one of the fucking air compressors that we got.
This thing has up to 16 CPU cores, discrete level graphics in an APU, and up to 128 gigabytes of addressable memory. This thing is insanely capable.
Like, the 4070 that I bought and I'm still paying for because I bought it on my credit card or whatever was like $600-700. I think it was like $800. Like, could have got a whole fucking computer.
And whether or not you know what all those specs mean, this is a massive,
and it's like a little box
processor.
Like this.
We actually ended up resetting our product roadmap to make space for a product that takes in Ryzen AI Max. I am actually very excited to show you this product.
He's got that shit in a backpack.
Ryzen AI Max
he put it in a backpack.
The Framework desktop.
Look at the little fucking thing. Little fucker. Like, I want to get a couple of these for my nieces and nephews, but, you know, they all want iPads or VR headsets, but, you know, like this right here puts that shit to shame. You could do VR on that. You know what I'm saying? You can play games on that. You can do anything.
Part of what makes this a Framework product, though, is that unlike most mini computers, we stuck to OpenPC standards everywhere we could. The mainboard in there with that Ryzen AI Max processor, it's actually just a standard mini ITX form factor. That means you can take it and stick it in your favorite case. We stuck to standards on the headers as well. We've got standard ATX power, 2 M.2 slots, a PCIe slot, and we've got a bunch of standard I/O. We've got 5 gigabit Ethernet, Wi-Fi 7, 2 USB 4 ports, and the power supply is also standard. This is really not proprietary.
Standard.
We've got a semi-custom Flex ATX design that we worked with FSP on. We designed this thing to stay as quiet as possible under load.
And it just got one big ass fan in it.
Is that Ryzen AI Max, AMD originally designed this to be a laptop processor. We're using it in a desktop. We actually have a giant 120 millimeter fan in there, a standard fan. And so with that and this giant heatsink that we developed with Cooler Master, we're able to run this at 120 watts continuous while still keeping it quiet.
The fuck, bro? No way. 120 watts?
This
120 watts
is obviously a lot more power than you can normally get out of a notebook. We actually worked with Cooler Master on 2 fan options, and we also have a new version of one of Noctua's most popular 120 millimeter fans. Cooler Master and Noctua both actually contributed to the design of the thermal system in the Framework desktop, so this thing really, truly is super optimized.
But all those, which is
There's supposed to be. They had another thing on here that I wanted to see.
At $19.99.
So, like, if you wanted to get a comparable Mac Studio desktop with 128 gigs of unified RAM, costs you $4,800. It's $199.99 with the Framework.
If you want to run even bigger AI workloads, though, you can actually do that. There's rightfully a ton of interest right now around DeepSeek. These are giant models. The full DeepSeek model, it's well over 600 billion parameters. That's a lot bigger than you can fit in even a single 128 gigabyte Framework desktop. However, we have 5 gigabit Ethernet. We've got USB 4. That means you can actually network together multiple.
That's where I get like, oh, fuck, bro. You can stack 5 of these fucking things together. And you can make something crazy, bro. Yeah. It's twice as fast.
You can network together multiple Framework desktops or multiple mainboards and run those full models, including the full DeepSeek model.
That's insane right there. You can get 4 of those things put together and run the DeepSeek model on it like you're running it on fucking racks on racks on racks.
This is really
literally racks on racks.
What PCs are about, that combination of open ecosystems around both hardware and software. Just like always, on Framework Desktop, we support both Windows 11 and Linux. We believe that 2025 is truly the year of the Linux gaming desktop. The Framework Desktop.
Yep. I don't think a wall of them would do much or whatever, but everybody's waiting for SteamOS to go mainstream, right? Because you can play games on SteamOS. Not all of them, but most of them. And for the most part, people are starting to realize that, you got a full-on distro that you could use at your house, right? You could officially play it on your desktop. I've installed SteamOS on my AMD PC using a Steam Deck recovery image. So far, working perfectly. Only issue I encounter is putting it to sleep and waking it up. Screen stays black until I restart it. Everything else works flawlessly. It's become my favorite. The time for is now because, literally, if you're gaming on the PCs, if you're playing new games, you're playing fucking garbage, right? You're playing garbage that has all of this fucking shit that you have to install or whatever. They're spying on you, whatever. Or you could just go buy a bunch of old games and play them at the best possible quality and not have to worry about any of that. So yeah, I feel like SteamOS is probably going to be the one that's really going to take it to the next level for Linux. I do foresee it happening, right? Between them and what Ubuntu are doing right now, Ubuntu is all about AI. I haven't seen an AI project that isn't running on some sort of Ubuntu server or Ubuntu desktop or some combination. I have seen people try to run it on other stuff, but I mean, you can't beat free, right? You can't beat free. And it's LMM friendly. Your PC sucks? Yeah, you could go get a new PC. I mean, I've been looking at PCs. I was looking at shit like Best Buy and stuff, and I mean, the only other things that seem to be exciting to me, right? The only other things that are really exciting from Microsoft, right? Their Copilot PCs are exciting because for a different reason, but those aren't even the ones that anybody wants, right? Everybody wants Intel. Still, fucking $14.99 for a Copilot PC with the Intel Core Ultra, and that's just too expensive, bro. Too expensive, right? They're trying to push all these Surface laptops on everybody or Surface things. And I mean, I like it and how tough it is, but I still can't do it, dude. Yep. Yep. Docker start Olama. That's all you gotta do. Yeah, Intel definitely did put a governor. Everybody's put a governor on speed. Nobody's going over 5 gigahertz anymore. But yeah, right now that's probably the best gaming tablet laptop that's ever been out. Fucking $2,000, dude. Shit, son. Look at this. $2,700 for the top one with 128. But it's got 50 tops. Yeah. Your Coke costs more than that? That's funny. Yeah, well, I'm not really worried about buying another gaming PC or assembling one at this point. I'm going to wait for AMD to release some more shit, you know what I'm saying? Because they're the ones that are making the good shit. They just put Nvidia on notice. Nvidia has been beating the absolute shit out of fucking AMD for a while now. Not on processors, but on graphics cards, right? And yeah, AMD just completely shit all over fucking Nvidia. in so many ways. It's not even just because they released this chip, but it is at the same time. Like, people are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars for fucking NVIDIA GPUs just to build these models and shit. And the fact that you could just stack a couple of these things together and get the same kind of performance, yeah, they're super fucked. They are super fucked, bro. Yeah, I don't know how they're going to fix that. I do not know. And I mean, all of the big people are starting to put them in their products, right? Well, they're starting to put Ryzen. A lot of them are using Ryzen, but the new versions of the processors, I think, are going to be something else, bro. Damn straight. I guess with that, I should probably go. I'm just bullshitting about computers and shit. Trying to look at the kind of stuff that I want to use, like those framework desktops, but might need something as like, might need something a little more dust friendly. But we'll have to see. But anyways, that's it for me today. I know I haven't been with you, so I figured I'd give you guys a little bit of extra time today, and we did. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for being here. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, share this with your friends, do all of that jazz, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening. I get it. There's a lot of cool stuff out there in the world, but for right now, I'll just be happy with the new radar detector. But either way, much love to you. Hope you have a beautiful day. See you later, my friends, and au revoir. Bye-bye now. See you later. Thanks for all the money and stuff. We appreciate it. Much love. Bye-bye now. Have a good one. Woo.